What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I am sharing the OPI Wicked Holiday 2024 Infinite Shine collection, and if this sounds familiar, it might be because I already reviewed the OPI Wicked collection, but they also have their Infinite Shine line and they actually came out with totally separate colors for their Wicked collection for this holiday, so I thought I would do a totally separate review on those. Now if you haven't heard of the OPI Infinite Shine formula, it's actually a little bit different from their regular formula. It's meant to actually be more gel-like, although it still applies and dries like regular nail polish. So supposedly it does last longer. Now I can't speak to the wear of it because I generally only wear polish for 2 to 3 days or so. I have been meaning to do a comparison video and a wear test for a really long time, so if you do want to see that, let me know in the comments. But one other thing to note about the Infinite Shine line, this one is actually vegan, which I believe the original OPI formula is not. But yeah, like I said, we've got totally different colors from the regular Wicked collection this time. We've got 9 brand new shades, we've got some shimmers, we've got some creams, we even have one glow-in-the-dark polish. So let me go ahead and share the swatches with you, and then we can talk a little bit more about my thoughts on them, and then we can get into pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as usual, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today it's the Orly Bonder base coat. So first off in the collection, we have the G is silent, and this one is a really beautiful, slightly sheer pinky beige color, and within that we actually have a really beautiful multicolored shimmer. I feel like on camera it almost looks white, and honestly from far away you really can't see the depth of color going on, but when you look at it up close you can actually see like a pinky, purpley, coppery blue kind of color coming through, and let me tell you, it is absolutely stunning. I started off with 2 coats. It gave me a little bit of that crelly vibe where it was kind of sheer, but it still looked nice and not patchy on the nail. But I ended up getting pretty full coverage in 3 coats. And I think really depending on what you're looking for, you can kind of decide the opacity there, but it's a really beautiful neutral. It feels very work appropriate, but it also has a little bit of like a wedding vibe to me. Next up, we have Ever-Effervescent, and this one is a medium pink cream shade, and this is not necessarily a unique color at all. In fact, I probably have a bunch from OPI that are just like this, but in terms of formula, this one is really nice. It's not quite a one coater, but I feel like this is going to be a good nail art color just because it is fairly opaque, but I did do 2 coats for full coverage. It was very smooth, very creamy, very easy to apply, and it just feels like kind of a classic nail polish color to me. And then we have the shade Thrillifying, which is a red cream shade, and let me tell you, this one is perfection. I feel like I say this every time OPI comes out with a red, but I will never get sick of their reds. This one was full coverage in the first coat on me. It's such a beautiful, vibrant color. I ended up applying a second coat just to show you what it looked like, but I don't think it's possible for OPI to make a bad red. I have a full drawer of red nail polishes from just OPI, and I will always appreciate more. They're always amazing. This one is no exception. Just a really beautiful shade. Moving on, we have the shade Yellow Brick Road, and this one is a pearlized yellow shimmer, and this is a really beautiful one in my opinion. I have a feeling it is going to be a shade that people don't universally love, but I personally love it. I love a good brush strokey type of polish. I love a good golden yellow like this, and I was actually really impressed with the opacity. I started off with 2 coats, and I would actually wear this as a 2 coater. Yellow nail polish can be a little bit tricky. I find that it generally is a 3 coater on me, so I always get excited when I find something in 2 coats, but just out of curiosity, I did want to apply a 3rd coat just to see what that looked like and to also show you what that looked like. But yeah, I would definitely wear this one as a 2 coater. I know a lot of people don't think that this particular shade of yellow suits my skin tone, but I'm just never going to be able to stop wearing it. I think it's just such a happy color. It's very similar to the yellow that was from the regular OPI Wicked line, but I think I actually might like this one a little bit better because I do love the brush strokiness. And then we have this shade. This is OPI'm Phosphorescent. I gotta tell you, these names are killing me. But yeah, this one is a glow-in-the-dark green polish, and I don't even know where to begin with this one. It is very obviously incredibly sheer. So when I started applying it, I figured maybe it was a topper, but it's being marketed as a standalone polish. So don't worry, I'm going to show you what it looks like as a topper in a minute. But first, let me show you what it looks like in 3 coats over the naked nail, because I thought that it was not great at all. It's very patchy, it's very sheer, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. And also, because it's a glow in the dark, it's a little bit on the thick side, so any more than 3 coats would feel super heavy on the nail. But I knew that there was a chance for this polish to be redeemed. If it glows really nicely, that would be very cool. So I recorded it in total darkness, and I have to say, I think it actually looks more vibrant on camera than it looked in real life. This is also in slow-mo because the glow in the dark particles disappeared after like 5 seconds. So I was not thrilled with it, but I thought I would also try it as a topper. I tried it over a lighter green just to see if that kind of helped the glow brighten a little bit more. So I did that, and then I went under the total darkness to see how it looked, and it actually looked a lot worse because there wasn't that much glow in the dark pigment there, because I guess there's not that much pigment in the bottle. So that disappeared almost instantly. I did want to try it out with a second coat of the glow in the dark over my manicure just to see if that made it any brighter. So that meant I had 2 coats of polish and then 2 coats of glow in the dark, and that looked pretty decent. But again, this is in slow motion and it faded almost instantly. I would say within 5 seconds, I couldn't even see where to put my camera because I couldn't tell where my nail was glowing anymore because it was just totally gone at that point. So this one, kind of a fail for me. Well, kind of a big fail. So now let's move on to a way better shade. This is Ozmopolitan, and this one is a really stunning blackened shimmer, but it's actually really unique because it's this duochrome shimmer that, looking at it head on, actually looks like a blackened green, but around the edges it's actually like a reddish color. So this to me feels like the perfect Christmas duochrome. It's hard to tell on camera. I feel like it mostly just captured the green, but in person at certain angles it looked so red and fun, and I just thought that was such a cool trick. I feel like it's a very fun way of doing like a blackened gothic sort of Christmas vibe, so I thought that was so fun. And of course the formula was amazing. It was super opaque. I got perfect coverage in 2 coats. And then we have the shade, it's the Shiz, and this one is a really beautiful metallic shade. I feel like it kind of sits somewhere between being a gray, a blue, and kind of purpley, and I really enjoyed this one. OPI recently came out with a full collection of metallic polishes like this, and I thought they were really incredible. I love the brush strokey look, like I said, and this one just feels like a perfect any time of year kind of color because of that gray tone to it. But the formula was great. It applied really smoothly and easily, and I feel like this would also be really amazing for stamping. And then we have Head Shiztress. Again, these names are absolutely wild to me as somebody who doesn't know anything about Wicked, so very curious to know what's with all the Shiz references, but I guess I'll find out when I watch the movie. This is actually what I'm wearing on my nails in the intro and outro, and I absolutely love it. It's a really beautiful, cool toned purple, and it's got this golden fleck running throughout. It's absolutely stunning. I feel like this is such a beautiful royal purple. I love the combo of purple with gold flecks, and the flecks in here are actually a little duochromy, so at certain angles they actually do look a little bit greenish, which I think makes it a little bit more unique in my opinion. So an absolutely perfect shade. And then last but not least, we have this sheer shade called Don't Hide Your Magic, and this one is just a really beautiful shimmery white sheer, and I love shades like this. They always feel so elegant to me, and I especially love when I can really customize how opaque I want them to be. I thought in particular this one looked great in 1 coat and 2 coats and 3 coats, so I love being able to mess around with that. But what makes this one special in my opinion, similar to the first shade, there's actually a really beautiful rainbow of shimmers and flecks going on within it. You can't really tell on camera, but when you look at it up close, there really are so many beautiful colors making it up. So I thought it was really stunning on its own, but I was also curious to see this one as a topper. So I applied it over black, and you could really start to see the actual actual individual colors coming through that way. I was nervous that it was going to look a little bit too milky and maybe chalky looking on another color, but it ended up actually looking really beautiful. So I kind of love this combo, but I also had a feeling that it would suit really nicely over lighter shades. So I tried it over the pink of the collection and I thought that was really beautiful as well. So this is definitely another win for me. I feel like this is going to be a lot of fun to play around with and experiment over different colors, but it's also going to work really well to wear on its own. And here's a little comparison of all of the shades together. I feel like we got a lot of similar shades to the regular line of OPI polishes for the Wicked collection, but they still managed to bring a lot of new vibes to the Wicked experience with these. So I really appreciated that. We have a few good unique finishes going on here. We've got some classic colors. Again, it all feels like it's appropriate for the holiday season, but a lot of them feel like they are just appropriate for any time of year, which I think is something that OPI tends to do really well. I do like that my whole little graphic here is just all the colors I liked surrounding the one color that I just didn't like at all. But yeah, let's talk about these shades a little bit more. So yeah, that is the Wicked Infinite Shine collection, and overall I did enjoy these. I think the formulas were mostly pretty good. As far as the glow-in-the-dark polish, that one just did not do it for me. The color on its own is not great. I don't think that it glows in the dark too well, even as a topper. And I just recently reviewed a glow-in-the-dark polish from Mooncat that was so much brighter and so much more vibrant, so definitely don't recommend the glow-in-the-dark from this collection. I feel like they really didn't talk about the glow-in-the-darkness in the marketing of this collection, and now I kind of understand why, because I think it was a pretty big disappointment. But aside from that, I do think that the colors were really nice. Now, as far as which collection I prefer, their regular line or their Infinite Shine line for the Wicked collection, it's honestly tough because I feel like there are a few from the regular collection that I totally loved and a few from this collection that I totally loved, and I really like the idea of mixing and matching. So that would be my preference, but if I had to choose in terms of just percentage of polishes I liked, I do think I actually preferred this collection. So yeah, now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes come in 15 milliliter bottles. I get mine from the retailer Beyond Polish, and there they retail for $9.50 USD each. I also do have a discount code, so you can use the code KELLI for 10% off. They also have the regular OPI Wicked polishes there as well, and the discount code works on them. So I will link everything down in the description. You can check them out, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the Infinite Shine line in general? Have you tried it before? Do you recommend it? And of the two collections, which do you prefer? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, I would really appreciate if you could hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. Today's would you rather question is a good one. This is, would you rather have eyes in the back of your head or be able to taste with your fingers? I feel that very specifically to my job and hobby of painting my nails, I do not want to be able to taste with my fingers. I don't recommend this. I'm not condoning this, but there have been a lot of times where I've had wet nail polish or I've had acetone on my fingers and I've touched my mouth or I've licked my finger for whatever reason and the taste is absolutely awful. So I do not want to experience that more than I already have to. And I think having eyes on the back of my head would be cool. The only downside to that is that I never wear my hair up ever. So I feel like I would have to have like a little part for my eyes. So I would very easily choose having eyes in the back of my head. But I'm curious what other people would choose for this, because I do think there are certain jobs where it would be a nice benefit to be able to taste with your fingers. Like if you were a baker or something, I think that would be pretty fun. Although, does that count as like licking baked goods? I'm not sure, because is that hygienic if you can taste? It probably is. I'm sure it is. But also just imagine all of the other things that you have to touch that are not delicious that you would have to taste every time you touch them. I feel like that might be awful. So yeah, let me know your answer to the would you rather question in the comments. We can chat about it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.